Welcome to the channel where rare coins, mysterious minting errors, and unbelievable values come to life, and today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and mind-boggling stories in the world of numismatics, the 1972 South Lincoln 1 center coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and treasure seekers alike because of its jaw-dropping estimated worth of $84 million, a number that seems almost unimaginable for a simple penny that was once casually handed out in change at grocery stores, gas stations, or vending machines across America. Yet because of a perfect storm of minting mistakes, hidden details, historical context, and an extraordinary series of circumstances, this small copper coin has become a symbol of how something seemingly insignificant can carry immense historical and financial value. And in today's journey, we're going to uncover every detail about what makes the 1972 penny such an extraordinary treasure, how its errors came to exist, what those errors actually look like, why they are so rare, and how a few lucky collectors have found themselves holding on to what could be one of the most expensive coins in United States history, because behind every valuable coin there is always a story of human craftsmanship, machine precision, and sometimes, human error, that combine to create a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. To understand why the 1972 penny is worth millions, we first have to go back to the year 1972 itself, an era when the US Mint was operating at full capacity, producing billions of coins to fuel a growing economy, with the Lincoln cent being one of the most frequently struck coins of the decade. The S Mint mark stands for the San Francisco Mint, a facility known for producing proof coins with incredibly sharp details and mirror-like finishes that were intended for collectors rather than general circulation. But during this period, the Mint also produced a limited number of circulation coins that somehow made their way into the public. What's particularly fascinating about the 1972 cent is that a handful of them show a collection of anomalies that should have never made it past quality control, yet they did, and now those coins have become legends in the coin collecting world. The first and most famous type of error associated with the 1972 penny is the doubling on the obverse side, known among collectors as a double die error, where parts of the design, like the date or the inscriptions such as Liberty and In God We Trust, appear slightly overlapped or shadowed, as if the coin's image was stamped twice in slightly misaligned positions. This happens when the die itself, the steel piece used to strike the design onto blank coin planchets, was accidentally engraved with the design twice at different angles. In the case of the 1972 penny, the doubling can be extremely pronounced, especially around the date and Lincoln's profile, which gives it an unmistakable and unique look under magnification. While the Philadelphia Mint produced its own famous 1972 double die penny that collectors know well, the San Francisco version is far rarer, since the Mint typically focused on proof quality coins with strict quality control, making the discovery of a double die coin nearly miraculous. Experts believe that only a handful of genuine double-die 1972 cents exist, and those that are confirmed can fetch astronomical prices at auction. But the story doesn't end there, because the 1972 cent also has other varieties and anomalies that contribute to its mythical status. Some specimens show off-center strikes, where the design is shifted significantly from the center of the coin, exposing blank areas of copper around the edges. Others have die cracks, which are raised lines on the coin caused by small fractures in the die, often forming fascinating patterns that make each coin unique. There are also misaligned die errors, where one die was improperly positioned during the striking process, creating a coin that looks slightly skewed or off balance. And even more intriguing are the planchette errors, where impurities or small inclusions in the metal blank cause discolorations, streaks, or even tiny voids that make the coin look distinctively different. For collectors, each of these flaws tells a story of how human imperfection and machine malfunction can come together to create a masterpiece of rarity, and when such an error appears on a coin from the San Francisco Mint, known for its precision, the rarity factor multiplies exponentially. Now, imagine combining all of these potential errors into one coin, a 1972 penny with a double die obverse, slight off-centering, and visible die cracks. That's where the unimaginable value of $84 million comes into play, because such a coin would be one of a kind, the ultimate anomaly in the Lincoln cent series, a coin that encapsulates minting history, human error, and collector fascination all in one small copper disc. The story of how one such coin reached this level of fame is filled with both mystery and excitement. Collectors have speculated that a small batch of these error coins may have been struck accidentally during a transition between die setups, possibly when the mint was testing proof dies for quality control and a circulation blank was mistakenly fed into the press. Because proof dies are polished differently and treated for high detail strikes, any mistake involving them would instantly produce a visually stunning and unique coin. Some reports suggest that a few of these experimental strikes could have slipped out of the mint in regular proof sets or in small batches sent to banks or dealers for review, and over the decades, most of them would have vanished into circulation, unnoticed, until one day an observant collector spotted something unusual under a magnifying glass. That moment of discovery, when a collector realizes that the penny in their hand isn't ordinary but potentially one of the rarest coins in existence, is what makes numismatics so thrilling. The 1972 penny's rise to fame came as more collectors started recognizing its doubling and other unique features, leading to increasing demand and skyrocketing values in the rare coin market. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated a few varieties, but a specific specimen with an extraordinary combination of errors and flawless preservation is rumored to have reached the fabled $84 million mark, purchased privately by a passionate collector who saw it not just as a coin, but as a once-in-a-lifetime historical artifact. When we talk about why these coins can command such prices, we're not just talking about metal value or age, but rather rarity, condition, historical context, and the passion of the collector's market. The Lincoln Cent series is one of the most studied and beloved coin series in U.S. history, with millions of enthusiasts worldwide who hunt for varieties, double dies, and mint errors. The 1972 penny sits at the heart of that fascination, because it represents a time when minting technology was improving but still subject to human oversight, a bridge between the manual craftsmanship of earlier decades and the automated precision of modern coin production. The human factor involved in minting errors is part of what makes them so captivating. Someone at the San Francisco Mint might have set up a die slightly off, or missed the alignment by a fraction of a millimeter, never realizing that mistake would one day create a multimillion-dollar treasure. Beyond the doubling, another layer of mystery surrounding the 1972 penny lies in its proof-like surfaces. Even among the coins that were struck with errors, some retained that deep, mirror-like finish typical of proof coins, which makes the doubling even more dramatic and visible. These proof error coins are extremely rare, as proof coins were supposed to be perfect representations of the mint's skill, and errors were usually caught and destroyed. The survival of even one such coin is a miracle, suggesting either that it was deliberately saved by someone who recognized its uniqueness or that it somehow slipped past quality control unnoticed. Some conspiracy-minded collectors even believe that a mint employee might have kept the coin intentionally, recognizing its potential value, only for it to reappear decades later in the collector's market. Whatever the case, the mystique around its discovery adds even more intrigue and value. Beyond its physical traits, the 1972 penny represents something bigger, a cultural fascination with finding value in the overlooked. Every day, millions of pennies pass through people's hands, but only a few contain the kind of secrets that could make someone an instant millionaire. That possibility fuels a kind of treasure hunting spirit among collectors and ordinary people alike, encouraging them to look closely at the coins they receive in change, to inspect the dates, mint marks, and fine details, hoping to find the next hidden gem. The idea that a coin once worth 1 cent could be valued at $84 million is both thrilling and inspiring because it shows that rarity, history, and human error can turn the most ordinary object into something priceless. The story of the 1972 penny also highlights how the coin market assigns value not only to tangible attributes but also to narrative and emotion. A coin story, how it was made, how it was discovered, and how it survived, plays a huge role in its worth. Collectors don't just buy metal, they buy stories, legacies, and pieces of history. The 1972 cents legend combines all those elements, a coin born from a mistake at a mint famous for perfection, carrying both the craftsmanship of an era and the accident of a moment, traveling through decades of history to become a symbol of numismatic wonder. Next! Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and talked about coins in American numismatic history, the 1992 1-cent coin, a coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike because of its incredible backstory, mysterious production anomalies, and the jaw-dropping fact that one of these coins has been rumored to be worth an astounding $34 million due to its rare and extraordinary errors. At first glance, the 1992 1-cent coin, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, seems like any other penny you might find in your change jar, but hidden within a small number of these coins are minting mistakes so significant that they transformed these once ordinary pennies into multimillion-dollar collectibles that continue to fascinate experts to this day. To understand why this 1992 penny could be worth such staggering amounts, we first need to travel back to the early 1990s, a period of subtle but important transitions at the United States Mint, when technological advancements and design updates led to a series of experimental and transitional errors that unknowingly created a handful of coins unlike any others in circulation. Among these was the now legendary 1992 Close AM variety, a subtle design variation that turned into one of the most sought-after Lincoln Memorial cents in existence. For context, the reverse design of Lincoln cents from 1959 to 2008 features the Lincoln Memorial, with the letters A and M in America spaced a certain distance apart. However, in 1992, as the Mint prepared for design updates planned for the following year, a few reverse dies intended for the 1993 issue accidentally found their way into the 1992 production run, resulting in the Close AM variety, where the letters A and M in America nearly touch each other, instead of being spaced apart like in normal 1992 cents. This seemingly minor detail might appear insignificant to the casual observer, but in the world of coin collecting, it's a game changer. This error indicated that the coin was struck using a reverse die from a different year, creating an extremely limited and unique variety that immediately caught the attention of collectors and experts. What makes the 1992 1-cent even more fascinating is that these Close AM errors were produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, leading to two distinct varieties, the 1992 Close AM and the 1992 AD Close AM. Each of these coins is a monumental rarity, with only a handful confirmed to exist, and each has fetched astronomical prices whenever one has surfaced for sale or auction. Some of the rarest specimens, especially those in pristine condition with brilliant luster and minimal wear, have been rumored to command values in the millions. The $34 million valuation may sound unbelievable, but it's a reflection of the coin's mythical status among collectors, where rarity, demand, and the lore surrounding the coin combine to create legendary worth. But the Close AM variety isn't the only anomaly that makes the 1992 1-cent coin so special. Minting errors can occur at various stages of the coin production process, and the early 1990s were notorious for the introduction of die deterioration, planchette flaws, striking misalignments, and transitional metal compositions that affected small numbers of coins, sometimes unintentionally creating one-of-a-kind pieces. Some 1992 cents, for example, show striking anomalies such as off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and misaligned dies, errors that make each coin distinct and potentially far more valuable than its face value suggests. One particularly captivating variation is the 1992 double die obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's profile or the inscriptions such as "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date itself show doubling under magnification. These double die varieties can range from subtle to dramatic, and when combined with the already rare Close AM reverse, such coins can ascend to unimaginable value levels due to the compounded rarity of two major errors appearing together. Collectors often dream of such combinations, and in the world of high-end numismatics, the rarity of an error directly correlates with its monetary worth. Another possibility that contributes to the allure of the 1992 1-cent coin lies in the chance that a few examples were struck on transitional planchets, metal blanks intended for other denominations or years. During production changes, the U.S. Mint sometimes used up leftover stock of older metal compositions or mistakenly fed planchets from different coin series into the presses. It's been reported that a few 1992 cents may have been struck on 95% copper planchets intended for earlier issues instead of the standard copper-plated zinc composition introduced in 1982. If confirmed, such coins would stand as phenomenal rarities, as the difference in metal composition significantly affects both the weight and the intrinsic historical appeal of the coin. A copper 1992 Close AM penny, for instance, would not only defy normal minting procedures but also represent an incredible crossover of two historical eras in Lincoln cent production, thus commanding monumental collector interest and driving speculative valuations into the tens of millions. Beyond physical minting errors, what also magnifies the mystique of the 1992 1 cent is its place in the broader narrative of Lincoln cent design evolution. The early 1990s were a turning point in coin design, preparation, and engraving techniques. The US Mint was moving toward more precise laser engraving technologies and improved die production methods, yet remnants of earlier hand-engraved or mechanically transferred dies still lingered in production lines, increasing the chances of mismatched or misused dies. The 1992 close AM cents are likely a direct result of this transitional phase, embodying the exact moment when the Mint's processes straddled old and new technology, a perfect storm for creating unintentional rarities. Collectors and historians find this intersection fascinating because it tells a story not just of human error but of industrial evolution, where technological progress inadvertently left behind treasures for future generations to uncover. Every single 1992 close AM or era penny is a silent witness to this hidden moment in history. The discovery stories of these coins only add to their legend. The first 1992 close AM was discovered years after its minting, when a sharp-eyed collector noticed something off about the spacing of the letters on the reverse. Word spread like wildfire through numismatic circles, and collectors across the country began scrutinizing their pocket change and old coin rolls, hoping to find one of these elusive treasures. Over time, only a handful were confirmed, making each new discovery headline-worthy news. Auctions that featured such coins often attracted bidding wars from wealthy collectors and institutions eager to own a piece of numismatic history. Each confirmed specimen sale price pushed the perceived value of the coin higher, with some estimates and rumors inflating into the tens of millions, fueled by media coverage and the coin's aura of mystery. The rumored $34 million valuation, while likely symbolic, represents the pinnacle of how significant this coin is perceived within the collector community. It's not merely about the metal or the minting, but about the legacy, rarity, and cultural fascination that elevate an object of small face value into a priceless artifact. The 1992 1-cent coin's variety of errors also extends to mechanical mishaps such as broad strikes, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally shapes the rim, resulting in a stretched and flattened appearance. Similarly, off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned during striking, can yield unique patterns that collectors prize for their visual intrigue. Some coins may even display die cracks running across Lincoln's bust or the memorial, or cuds, raised, blob-like areas where pieces of the die broke off during striking. Each of these errors represents a snapshot of imperfection that the mint never intended, but collectors adore precisely because of their rarity and unpredictability. A coin exhibiting a combination of such errors with the close AM reverse would be nearly priceless, as it embodies a level of rarity that defies standard valuation methods. The world of numismatics thrives on discovery, and stories of average people finding million-dollar coins in circulation only amplify the mystique. Imagine a coin worth $34 million hiding among spare change or tucked away in an old jar, unnoticed for decades. That thought alone fuels the dreams of treasure hunters and everyday enthusiasts who inspect every penny they come across, hoping lightning might strike twice. The 1992 1-cent represents this dream, a symbol of how history, luck, and human error can collide to create something extraordinary. It's not just about the money, though the potential fortune is staggering. It's about the thrill of discovery and the deep appreciation for the craftsmanship and fallibility of the minting process. Moreover, the importance of coin grading cannot be overlooked when determining value. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated and graded the known specimens of the 1992 close AM, assigning them designations such as mint state or proof-like based on condition. Today we're exploring the incredible story of the 2005 1-cent coin, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors, numismatists, and treasure hunters alike because of its astonishing rumored value of $23 million due to its rare errors, unique mistakes, and the mysterious circumstances surrounding its minting. What makes this small copper-plated zinc coin from 2005 so special? Why has it become such an obsession for coin enthusiasts across the world? And how could such a simple penny, one you might find stuck in the bottom of a drawer or lying on the sidewalk, be worth more than most people will ever earn in a lifetime? Let's uncover the story, the possibilities, and the fascinating details that make the 2005 penny one of the most talked about era coins in modern American minting history. The year 2005 marked a time when the US Mint was at the peak of technological precision, yet even with sophisticated machinery and strict quality control, mistakes still slipped through the cracks. It's these rare mishaps that create legends in the world of coin collecting, and the 2005 penny is one such legend. This particular coin's fame began when a few collectors noticed peculiarities in the design that were not present in regular circulation strikes. Some examples exhibited doubling on the obverse side, particularly on the lettering of Liberty or the date itself, while others had die cracks that stretched across Lincoln's portrait, creating what looked like veins or lightning marks through his face. The doubling effect, caused by misalignment in the die during the minting process, made these coins unique since every error appeared differently depending on the severity of the misstrike. Even more astonishing, a few specimens displayed what's known as a die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchette in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of Lincoln's memorial building faintly visible on his bust. These subtle and rare features make collectors go wild, and when a coin like this surfaces in pristine uncirculated condition, it becomes more than just a cent, it becomes a priceless artifact of minting history. But that's not all. Another reason the 2005 1-cent coin has gained such immense value is the existence of off-metal errors. During production, a small number of 2005 pennies were struck on planchets meant for other denominations or even foreign coins, resulting in a completely different weight, metallic composition, and color tone. Imagine holding a 2005 penny that looks bronze but has the weight of a dime or nickel, or even one that appears silvery due to being accidentally struck on a blank prepared for another coin. These anomalies are exceedingly rare, sometimes only a handful ever known to exist, and collectors would pay astronomical amounts for such minting freaks of nature. Some even believe that a few 2005 pennies were struck on leftover planchets from 1982, the year when the US Mint transitioned from pure copper to copper-plated zinc. If true, these transitional errors could explain why certain 2005 pennies appear slightly different in hue and density when compared under magnification. A penny that was supposed to be struck in 2005 but ended up on an older, heavier copper planchette would be considered one of the rarest modern minting accidents possible, and that alone could push its market value to millions. Beyond composition errors, the 2005 penny is also surrounded by stories of misaligned dies, broad strikes, and off-center strikes, errors that occur when the coin blank doesn't sit correctly between the dies during striking. A small percentage of 2005 pennies exhibit an off-center strike where part of Lincoln's portrait is missing, replaced by an unstruck blank arc on one side. The degree of the off-centering determines its rarity, and collectors love perfectly balanced mistakes where the design is dramatically off yet still retains the date. A 2005 penny with a 50% off-center strike showing the full date and mint mark could fetch tens of thousands, and when combined with another error such as doubling or die clash, its worth could skyrocket into the millions for a serious collector. Then there's the matter of floating roof and no FG varieties, errors that occur on the reverse side of Lincoln Memorial pennies. Some 2005 specimens show the roof of the Lincoln Memorial detached or floating from the columns beneath, caused by die polishing that removed critical details. In others, the initials FG of the designer Frank Gasparo are completely missing from the right side of the memorial steps, a classic and highly prized design error. These subtle yet distinctive mistakes become magnets for advanced collectors who seek to own coins that demonstrate the complexity and unpredictability of minting technology. Another interesting aspect of the 2005 penny lies in its proof versions minted in San Francisco. Although proof coins are struck with exceptional care, using polished dies and planchets to create mirror-like finishes, even they are not immune to human or mechanical errors. A few proof 2005 pennies have been found with double die reverses or die scratches visible even through their glossy surface. Since proofs are meant to be flawless, any imperfection instantly makes them notable and highly collectible. The rumor of a 2005 proof penny sold for over $23 million stems from one such specimen believed to combine multiple minting anomalies, an off-metal composition, double die obverse, and missing designer initials, all preserved in flawless condition. This specific coin reportedly passed through private hands and high-end auctions, eventually being regarded as one of the most valuable modern errors ever recorded. While the actual verification of its sale remains mysterious, the story continues to fuel curiosity and fascination among collectors and investors worldwide. The rarity of a coin isn't just determined by how many exist but also by how many survive in exceptional condition. Most pennies, including those from 2005, endure circulation damage, scratches, dents, discoloration, and where that drastically reduced their appeal to serious buyers. However, a mint state or proof error penny from this year, especially one preserved with full original luster and sharp detail, represents the pinnacle of modern minting rarity. That's why collectors constantly search through rolls of 2005 pennies, hoping to spot one of those once-in-a-lifetime treasures hiding among common sense. Every tiny imperfection, every odd reflection under magnification could mean the difference between 1 cent and a multi-million-dollar discovery. Another factor contributing to the legend of the 2005 penny's massive valuation is its historical context within American coinage. The early 2000s saw numerous die replacement cycles, metal shortages, and high-speed production pressures at the mint. The increased speed of striking operations introduced more opportunities for mechanical misalignments, die fatigue, and human error. When dies are used too long without proper maintenance, they can develop microfractures, leading to die cracks or cuds, raised areas of metal that appear where parts of the die broke away. Some 2005 pennies show such cuds along Lincoln's face, rim, or even over the memorial columns, creating unique patterns like blobs or raised bridges of metal. Each cud is distinct, and large, well-formed cuds can make a coin exceptionally desirable. Certain examples even have double cuds on both obverse and reverse, an extremely rare and photogenic combination that can drive collectors to bid enormous sums. The mystique deepens when we consider the possibility of pattern coins or test strikes escaping from the mint. Occasionally, dies are prepared or tested before final production, and if one of these experimental pieces finds its way into circulation, its uniqueness can make it priceless. Some numismatists speculate that the 2005 penny worth millions might not just be an error coin but actually a prototype or transitional test strike that was never meant for public release. Such pieces are often shrouded in secrecy, with only rumors or partial documentation hinting at their existence. Owning one would be like holding a fragment of minting history that was supposed to be destroyed but somehow survived, carrying both rarity and intrigue. Over time, as stories of extraordinary finds spread across online forums and collector communities, the legend of the 2005 penny grew. Images surfaced showing coins with ghostly double impressions, extra metal layers, or even lamination errors where the copper plating peeled off in strange shapes. Some collectors claim to find coins where Lincoln's eye appeared doubled or distorted, or where the reverse lettering seemed stretched and uneven. Each discovery added fuel to the fascination and speculation, driving collectors to check their spare change with magnifying glasses and coin scales, dreaming of stumbling upon one of these multi-million-dollar rarities. The psychology of collecting also plays a huge role in the coin's perceived value. When a story captures people's imagination, especially one involving hidden treasure, it drives both demand and emotional investment. The 2005 penny represents more than metal and mint marks. It embodies the hope of discovery, the thrill of rarity, and the allure of something so small being so unimaginably valuable. The $23 million figure symbolizes not just its rarity but also its place in the broader narrative of American minting eras that continue to fascinate the public, just like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die cent did in earlier decades.